Yo, it was good. I'm gonna just say internet. Really, I don't know where I'm posting this video at, but I'm making this video to kind of defend Wilt Chamberlain. Now, I get it. If you're like 7'1" and like arguably the greatest athlete in NBA history, that could be debatable. It's just my opinion. Clearly, everyone who's against you, or not against you, but like calling you overrated, usually their first argument is he played in the 60s against ice cream truck drivers and nobodies. Now, the other reasons, yeah, like he didn't care about championships or he just wanted to score and all that, yeah, those are actually good points. But when you say he plays only against nobodies and people under 6 feet and ice cream truck drivers and random people off the street, that's where the problem is. So this video is just naming off some of the greatest players, some of the most talented players Wilt Chamberlain actually played against. Now, I'm gonna be making a part 2 because there's clearly a lot of players, and so this is just 10 of the greatest for now, and I'll make a part 2 of the other the other players he played against. So we're gonna start this off with Jerry Lucas. Now, not a lot of people know about Jerry Lucas, but in the 60s, he was really good, like shooting 52.7 from the field, averaging 15.6 rebounds over his career. So it was like his career high. Well, not his career high, but his like average for his career, his whole career. He's one of the greatest rebounders of all time. Like, come on now. And don't get me started on Bob Pettit. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name, but one of the greatest centers of all time. Come on now. Oh, did I just say center? See, I kind of forgot if he was a center or power forward. Don't roast me, alright? Look, I forgot the research. I literally just did it, but I forgot it. Anyways, he was an all-star literally every single year of his entire career. He was all-first every single year, all-first NBA team every year, except his last year he played. And he was 7 all-time on points. Like the all-time scoring, or I don't know if it's scoring or points. I really don't know. And he's 3rd of rebounding. I'm guessing in the 60s era. I don't know if it's all-time or 60s. The article I chose really didn't point that out, but if you can see from there, that's pretty impressive. Now, for a power forward center at least. Now we got Sam Jones. Now, Sam Jones, right? A lot of people don't know about Sam Jones because he was overshadowed by Bill Russell, because he played on the Celtics, but that doesn't discredit him. He's literally like after Bill Russell, like, because when Bill Russell retired, or not retired, but when he was on the same team, he was basically the second go-to person on the team. You know what I'm saying? He's a 9-time champion because he was on the same team with Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? And he was a 5-time All-Star in the entire 60s. So in those entire decade, he was 5-time All-Star. You know what I'm saying? Dang, I really should have got his points in like per game and all that stuff. I didn't really do my good research here, but on the other players I did. Next, we got the one and only Elgin Baler. First of all, RIP to the most underrated player in NBA history. Elgin Baler was a beast in the 60s, and as my friend would like to say, he reminds him of like if hello LeBron James would play, basically. Literally top 10 rebounds in the 60s per game. He got 13.5 rebounds per game as a 6'5" small forward. He was great all-around player, good passing, good scoring, good rebounding, good defense. He was all-time, he was an all-star the entire decade, except for 1996, so he was like, in the entire year, he was 9-time all-star, basically in that whole decade. And he was all-first NBA the entire year. Like, not the year, the entire decade. Literally all-first NBA team the entire decade. He literally had a huge impact on the NBA too. But he was just so underrated. I don't know how he's underrated either. That doesn't make sense to me. But Yeah, R.I.P. to Elgin Baler too. Gotta say it again, Next we got Waltz Bellamy. Now, he's pretty under. Like, I'm gonna be honest, no one really knows who he is. But I didn't even know who he was until I did this research. But for seeing these stats, he was pretty fire back then. Like, as a rookie, he won Rookie of the Year second season, and he scored 31.6 points, 19 rebounds his rookie per game, like as a rookie, and he shot 51.9 for the field as a rookie, as a rookie. And he's a 4-time All-Star in the entire decade, or not in the entire decade, but yeah, in the entire decade basically. So in the entire decade, he's a 4-time All-Star. Playing against that, like, come on now. You say play against icing truck drivers and random people. What are you talking about? Next, we got Bailey Howell. Now, on the Celtics, when Bill Russell was tiring and he went on there, they said he was like the greatest center on the freaking. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking dumb. He was the greatest center on the team after Bill in that time, at least. He's a 2-time champion because when he came, that he won 2 championships with Bill Russell during his end of the career. That's kind of crazy. Bill Russell still winning championships during his end of his career. It's kind of crazy, but he won 20 point. Are you stupid? So his whole career, well, not his whole career, but like his career averaging was 20 points per game and 10 rebounds per game. It's kind of crazy. And he was a 6-time All-Star in that entire decade. Now let's move on to like the more big and more famous people from the 60s. Let's start off with Jerry West, who, in my opinion, was the second greatest point guards in the 60s. Because he was one of the best offensive players in the 60s. He was 5th all-time, or I think he is, in the era. I don't really know. This article didn't give a description. 35th assist per game, like in the era, all time. Most efficient scorer in the era. 9-time All-Star, 6th first All-NBA team, 2nd best point guard in the decade. That's kind of crazy. He led the Lakers. Well, I wouldn't say led because he had Elgin Baler there. Can't disrespect it. And plus, he also, gave Wilt championship, too. So, you say you play against ice and truck drivers. What are you talking about? Next, we got Wilt Chamberlain's rival. The one and only legendary Bill Russell himself. One of the greatest defenders and the second greatest center in NBA history, in my opinion. Greatest defenders of all time, one of them at least. I don't know if it's the. He's top 3 in rebounding per game. Top 3 rebounding, yeah. In the entire 60s. So he was like top 3. So he could have been 1, he could have been 2 or 3. He was top 3. I'm presuming he was like 1 or 2. He was leading twice though, so that means in the entire decade he was leading twice. He was top 10 in assists in the whole decade. Per game at least, yeah. And he was he led 4 times during the decade. I'm so sorry. I can't even understand my handwriting. He's so trash. He's a 10-time All-Star in the decade, 4-time MVP, 1-time All-Star game, All-Star. Wait, what? No, All-Star MVP, my bad. And a 2-time first All-NBA team and a 7-time second. Wait, what? No, I think it was like 7-time first All-NBA team. I don't know. I think I did this wrong. But let's just look at his. No, he was a 8-time All-NBA second team. Yeah, there you go. All-NBA first defensive team and a 4-time rebounding champion. And yeah, in his 60s though. That was just a career highlights. I wrote that for another thing. But in the 60s, he was all that. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the greatest point guard in the 60s. Oscar Robertson. Yeah. Now, Oscar Robertson, not your average point guard. See, in the 60s, almost every team would want him. He's like, if you had Oscar Robertson back then, he was like, everyone, oh, bro, I need to get Oscar Robertson. Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I just read that. It said that he was like the person you would want on your team, basically. You know, let's start it off. He had 30 points per game his whole career. Well, not his whole career, I'm pretty sure. But, you know, he led once in the league of scoring. And he led the league in assists per game 7 times during the decade. So he led the league in points once. He averaged 9.5 assists, and he's 4th all-time in assists. I think that's what it says. Yeah. He had double-digit points. Wait, no, double-digit rebounds first few seasons of his whole career. So he was getting like maybe 10, 11, 12 rebounds or more. Actually, it's double digits, so it could be literally anything. Best point guard in the decade. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that everyone should say that. If you say Jerry, then that could be debatable, but you know. He was a 9-time All-Star in the decade, 3-time All-Star MVP, Rookie of the Year, 1-time MVP, 9-time All-NBA First Team. So, from those 10 players, because there's clearly a lot more, we could assure that Wilt Chamberlain really didn't play against ice cream truck drivers and random people off the street. Because not to mention the fact that the average height in the NBA back then was like 6'6". Now tell me, what average male on the freaking planet in the 60s was 6'6", driving ice cream and all that stuff? If they're in the NBA, clearly they have to be good or decent at basketball. They're not just some random player off the street. Because if you think about it now, if you just put some random player there, they won't know what to do. Yeah, so I'm gonna just end this video off by listing a bunch of Wilt's accolades, you know, because why not? So Wilt, he averaged a cool 50 points one time a season. Scored 100 points. Everyone knows that. He grabbed 2,000 rebounds his entire career. Won 7 scoring titles. 9 field goal percentage titles. 11 rebounding titles. Over 32 60-point games. The only player to score 60 back-to-back games. In NBA history, 37.6 a game as a rookie, his entire rookie career. Most field goals, scored 43 points the first game he ever played. Averaged 22.9 rebounds is basically whole career, so it's like career average basically. He had won 2 titles, which is his downfall of not being the GOAT basically. Because if he won more than that, he would definitely be the GOAT. But he didn't, so he's a 1-time Finals MVP, 4-time MVP, 13-time All-Star, All-Star Game MVP, 7-time first All-NBA team, 3-time second All-NBA team, 2-time defensive NBA team, Rookie of the Year, 7-time scoring champ, 11-time rebounding champ, assist leader at one point, and he's in the Hall of Fame. And I'm pretty sure almost everyone here is in the Hall of Fame, except like a few people, but you know. And if they're not, they should probably be, but you know. Yeah, that's the end of the video. This video was just, you know, to assure people that back then they weren't not just ice cream truck, milk carton, school dudes off the street playing in NBA. So I mean, if you want, you can follow my friend Son of God Corey on TikTok and Instagram. You know what I'm saying? No? Alright. Follow me on Instagram. Goodbye.